In this video, we will listen to the words of Mark Twain, a master at combining wisdom and humor. His quotes invite us to reflect on life, courage, failure, and success in a light and deeply inspiring way. Get ready to find the motivation you need to face challenges with a new perspective. Before you start, just make sure you are already subscribed to this channel, because I am preparing a special series with the best quotes from Twain to help you face life with more lightness and purpose. Let's get started. Every small victory you achieve is proof that success is possible. Don't underestimate the small steps, because it is through them that you create the momentum for the big achievements. Progress is made of accumulated moments, not great leaps. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Many people spend their lives chasing more money, more power, more recognition. But happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from appreciating what we already have. True contentment lies in recognizing the richness in the little things. If you want to know the secret to a fulfilling life, here it is: do what you love what you do, and don't worry too much about what other people think. Other people's opinions are a distraction, and the time you spend worrying about them is time you could be spending living with purpose. Life has a funny way of teaching us lessons, even when we're not ready to learn them. But the sooner you accept that learning is constant, the sooner you'll find peace with what you can't change and the strength to change what you can. The strongest man is not the one who never stumbles, but the one who, when he falls, gets up with the most determination. The true test of strength is not in avoiding falls, but in our ability to get up each time we fall. Let me tell you something. The simple fact that you took the time to listen to these lessons already makes you the smartest and far ahead of most people. It doesn't matter how you listen to these quotes, whether you're washing the dishes, cleaning the house, exercising, or lying down for a moment of rest. If you were able to reflect, that's what matters. Tell me in the comments, what are you doing while listening to these lessons? Sometimes the thing you fear doing the most is exactly what you need to do to grow. Fear is not a sign that you should stop. It is a sign that you are on the threshold of something great. It is in overcoming fear that we discover our true potential. The path to success is never straight. It is full of twists and turns, and unexpected stops. But it is precisely these twists and turns that make the journey worthwhile. If it were easy, there would be no victory, and if there were no challenges, there would be no growth. Patience is not just the ability to wait, it is how you behave while you wait. Too often, we are so focused on getting to our destination that we forget to enjoy the journey. The secret to life is finding joy in the process, not just the arrival. If you want to change the world, start by changing yourself. The impact we have on the world begins with the small changes we make in our own lives. When we become the best version of ourselves, we inspire others to do the same. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to be who you truly are. The world is full of rules and expectations, but true happiness only comes when you decide to live according to your own values, instead of trying to fit into someone else's mold. If you're always looking for the easy way out, you'll never discover what you're truly capable of. The greatest challenges are the ones that teach us the most about ourselves. True growth comes when we push ourselves beyond what we thought was possible. The hardest thing to accept in life is that it is imperfect, and always will be. But it's this imperfection that makes it so wonderful. True beauty lies not in what is perfect, but in what is authentic and real. True wisdom comes from accepting that you don't know everything, and that you never will. The more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover. The key to growth is constant curiosity and the humility to keep learning. If you want to know what your future will be like, take a look at the choices you are making today. The future is not an uncontrollable mystery. It is shaped by the decisions we make in the present. Every choice we make shapes the path we are on. If there is one thing life has taught me, it is that happiness is not in having everything you want, but in wanting everything you have. Gratitude is the antidote to chronic dissatisfaction. When you learn to appreciate what you have already achieved, everything else begins to seem much less important. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. Everyone experiences fear. It is an inevitable part of life. But the ones who truly achieve their goals are those who look fear in the eye and keep moving forward. Courage does not eliminate fear, it conquers it. You will never find true success if you are always waiting for the approval of others. The great irony is that the more we try to please, the further we move away from who we really are. The secret to success is to be authentic, regardless of what others think. The great tragedy of life is not that it ends, but that so many of us live without really beginning. We are always waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect situation. But the truth is that life is happening now, and if you don't start living your dreams, they will never come true. You will never know how far you can go until you start walking. The problem is that we spend so much time imagining every failure scenario that we forget that simply taking the first step is half the journey to success. The curious thing about life is that the more you pretend to know what you are doing, the more people believe you. The real secret to success is not knowing everything, but being willing to learn along the way, and acting as if you do. Man is the only animal that worries about the future and forgets to live in the present. If there is one thing that life has taught me, it is that the future is an imaginary place that never arrives, so the best thing is to enjoy the now and leave tomorrow to solve its own problems. Problems tend to solve themselves when you stop worrying so much about them. It's not that life gets easier, it's that when we relax, we find solutions that we can't see in the midst of the tension. When people ask me the secret to my success, I say, simple, keep stumbling, but stumble forward. You don't have to do everything right, you just have to keep moving, because it's in the movement that the magic happens. There is immense freedom in accepting that you don't know everything and that that's okay. The person who thinks they know everything is doomed to never learn anything new. The curious, the humble, those are the ones who turn life into a constant adventure. Life is short, but not so short that you don't have time to make a lot of mistakes before you get it right. And believe me, every mistake you make is a step towards something greater. If you make a mistake, make it spectacular. I am not impressed by the man who never makes mistakes. Mistakes are a fundamental part of any success. What impresses me is the man who makes mistakes, learns from them, and keeps moving forward as if he were dancing. If you come up against a wall, don't bang your head against it. Find a door, or if you need to, make a window. The world is full of creative solutions waiting to be discovered. You just have to step back from the problem to see the bigger picture. I don't care what people think of me. I spent a lot of my life trying to please everyone, until I realized that they were too busy trying to please themselves. Live for yourself, not for others. The fear of failure is like a weight tied to your feet. It keeps you in one place. If you want to fly, you have to let go of that weight and trust that your wings will work, even if they require a few adjustments along the way. You can spend years waiting for courage to arrive, or you can simply decide to act despite your fear. Courage, contrary to what they say, does not appear out of thin air. It is created the moment you face what you fear most. Do you want to know the real secret of life? Always keep moving, and if possible, move in the direction of your dreams. People spend so much time planning that they end up forgetting the simple fact that movement creates opportunities. When you don't know where to go, go ahead. Sometimes the answer you seek only appears when you are already on the path. Inertia is the worst enemy of great achievements, so don't wait for certainty to act. There is something liberating about admitting that you have no control over everything. In fact, almost nothing. What you can control is your attitude toward situations and the effort you put into solving problems. The rest is the universe conspiring. Happiness is not the destination, it is what happens along the way. If you are expecting to be happy only when you achieve a great goal, you will discover too late that happiness was in the simple moments you rushed through. If you want to accomplish something great, stop asking if it is possible. Most things worth doing seem impossible until someone else does them. So instead of seeking approval, do what needs to be done. Don't expect a life without difficulties. If you did, you would spend your life waiting. Difficulties are inevitable, but it is in the way we face them that we find our strength and growth. Suffering is optional. Learning is mandatory. What amuses me most in life is that the people who complain the most about failure are precisely those who least try something new. The real failure is not in falling, but in not having the courage to get up and keep trying. The greatest enemy of success is procrastination disguised as perfectionism. How many great ideas have been put aside because people were waiting for the perfect moment? There is no perfect moment, only now. The only way to know what you are truly capable of doing is to go beyond what you think you can. If you are always in your comfort zone, then you are living far below your potential. The real adventure begins in discomfort. You can live your life waiting for things to change, or you can live your life making things change. The second option is much more fun, and believe me, much more effective. Don't spend your life trying to accumulate wealth, accumulate experiences, because they are what really make you grow. Money can buy you comfort, but only experiences bring you true wisdom. He who never makes mistakes never does anything interesting. Life is not about doing everything right. It is about doing enough wrong things to learn how to do something spectacularly right. Most people don't live their lives. They wait for them. They wait for the right job, the right person, the right moment. And life passes them by while they wait. The secret? Stop waiting and start living now. Humor is the only sensible way to deal with life's silliness. If you can't laugh at yourself, you'd better learn fast, because life will find ways to show you how ridiculous you can be. I'd rather regret having tried and failed than regret having never tried. The feeling of not knowing what could have been is far worse than any mistake you made along the way. If you want to find out what you're made of, face something that scares you. Fear is not a barrier, it's a test. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Difficulties are like steps. Each one you overcome takes you higher. Sure, they're hard and sometimes slippery, but in the end, what counts is how far you've come because of them. True freedom lies in stopping worrying about what other people think. If you spend your life trying to live up to other people's expectations, you'll end up missing out on discovering who you really are. If life were predictable, it would be unbearable. What makes everything interesting are the unexpected, the challenges, the surprises. True magic happens when we embrace uncertainty and learn to laugh in the midst of chaos. Those who wait for the perfect future never live in the present. Perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it is the quickest route to frustration. True happiness lies in finding beauty and purpose in what we have now. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying. If you spend your whole life running away from mistakes, you will never experience the success that comes when you finally get it right. Fear is only great until the moment you face it. Sometimes the best thing we can do is take a step back and look at life more lightly. When we stop taking everything so seriously, we realize that the greatest lessons come from the moments when we let things flow naturally. Most people are afraid to start because they don't want to look foolish. But honestly, we are all fools in the beginning. The real fool is the one who, for fear of making a mistake, never allows himself to learn something new. Leave the quote that had the biggest impact on you in the comments below. I'll tell you my favorite from this video right now. It goes like this: life is too short to waste it living by other people's standards. In the end, the only person you really need to impress is yourself. Others will always have an opinion, but it's your opinion about your own life that matters. The secret to a successful life is not in avoiding problems, but in learning to solve them with a smile on your face. If you take every obstacle as a punishment, you will end up missing the beauty of the lessons they bring. If your dream doesn't scare you, maybe it's not big enough. Fear of the unknown is a sign that you're about to grow. The only way to overcome it is to move forward anyway, because what's on the other side is worth it. Don't wait for motivation to knock on your door. If you spend your life waiting for the right moment to act, you'll discover too late that time never stops to wait for you. Do it now, even if the moment seems imperfect. You won't find peace trying to control every detail of your life. True serenity comes when you accept that life is full of uncertainties and learn to navigate them with grace and confidence. Life is much more interesting when you decide to stop going with the flow and start creating your own waves. People may call you crazy at first, but it's the ones who dare who end up changing the course of history. The biggest mistake we can make is to think that success is linear. It never is. It's full of twists, turns, and unexpected twists. The beauty is in learning to enjoy the journey, because the destination is often not what we imagined. Don't live life as a spectator. There are many who go through life without ever really living it, waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. The stage is set for you now, and the curtains have already opened. It's time to put on your show. You can wait for luck, or you can make your own luck. The choice is always yours. Successful people are not necessarily the most talented, but rather the most determined to keep trying until the right opportunity comes along. When we realize that nothing is permanent, we realize that there is no reason to fear change. It is inevitable, and most of the time, it is the only way to discover new horizons. Embracing the new is the key to progress. There is an invisible force that appears when you decide to move forward, even when everything around you seems to be telling you to stop. Those who keep going, even when the path is uncertain, are the ones who find the true meaning of resilience. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you must be willing to take extraordinary risks. Security may be comfortable, but it is discomfort that drives greatness. The comfort zone is just a way of postponing inevitable growth. Peace of mind comes not from the absence of challenges, but from the ability to face them head-on. The more you try to avoid problems, the more they seem to grow. Face them head-on, and you will discover that they were not so scary after all. There is no magic formula for success, but if there were one, it would certainly include failure. Success is built on a foundation of mistakes, failed attempts, and lessons learned. If you want to succeed, you have to be willing to fail. When everything seems too much to bear, remember that even the strongest river encounters obstacles along the way. But it never stops. It goes around the rocks, finds new paths, and eventually reaches the ocean. Be like the river. Don't settle for being a copy of someone else. The world already has plenty of copies, but it desperately needs originality. The more authentic you are, the more meaning you will find in your own journey. The freedom to be who you truly are is worth more than any approval you may receive from others. When you free yourself from the expectations of others, you begin to live a life that truly matters to you, and that is all that matters. The funny thing about fear is that it only has power over us until we face it. The moment we decide to act, it dissolves. The real trick of life is to realize that the only thing fear can do is delay the inevitable, your success. Don't spend your whole life sitting by the river waiting for the right opportunity to float by. Sometimes you have to get in the water and swim to the other side, even if you're not sure what you'll find there. The man who spends his life trying to avoid failure ends up avoiding success as well. Life is not about being perfect. It's about being willing to try and learn from each attempt. Great triumphs come from many accumulated mistakes. The sooner you stop trying to impress others, the sooner you'll start living for real. Success isn't about the applause of others. It's about the peace we find in being who we really are. And the irony is that when you live for yourself, that's when the world starts to notice you. Life doesn't have to be fair, but you do have to be resilient. No matter how many times things seem to go wrong, the true winner is the one who refuses to be defeated. Strength lies in getting up every time you fall. If you're always waiting for the right conditions to act, you'll find that you've spent your whole life standing still. True success comes from those who make the best of what they have, even when the world seems to be in disarray. There's a surprising peace in realizing that you can't control everything, and that's okay. Life is a mix of order and chaos, and the secret is not in trying to control the chaos, but in learning to dance with it. Success, more often than you might think, is a matter of persistence. Most people give up when the going gets tough. But if you keep moving, even slowly, you'll soon discover that many of the obstacles were temporary. If you wait for courage to come before you act, you will never get anywhere. Courage is not a prerequisite for success. It comes the moment you decide to move forward despite your fear. Action creates courage, not the other way around. There is nothing more liberating than accepting that failure is a necessary part of success. The sooner you allow yourself to fail, the sooner you will begin to learn and consequently to succeed. Failure is just the price we pay for learning. Those who spend their lives fearing change will never know what they are truly capable of. Change is the only constant in life, and those who embrace change with curiosity and courage are the ones who discover the true potential they carry within themselves. If you want to achieve something great, you must be willing to let go of certainties along the way. Security is comfortable, but it rarely leads to new places. Great achievements are born of risk and the willingness to lose something in the name of a bigger dream. The problem with most people is that they prefer an easy, dull path to a hard, rewarding path. If you want to live an extraordinary life, be prepared to face extraordinary challenges, and know that it will be worth it. True freedom is not in doing what you want, but in being who you are. People spend so much time trying to fit into other people's molds that they forget the power they have when they decide to be authentic. The man who waits for the world to change before he does something will never do anything. If you want to change the world, start by changing your own life. When you change, the world around you begins to adjust to the new you. There is immense beauty in stopping comparing yourself to others. What others achieve does not diminish what you can achieve. The real competition that matters is the one you have with yourself, to be better today than you were yesterday. The future belongs to those who have the courage to create their own opportunities, not to those who wait for them to fall into their laps. Life rewards the bold, those who take risks and do what no one else has dared to try. Uncertainty is the spice of life. If we knew exactly what was in store for us, everything would lose its charm. It is the unpredictability of tomorrow that keeps us going, that gives us hope that the unexpected is yet to come, and that it can be wonderful. Don't be afraid to be called a dreamer. Those who laugh at their dreams have probably never realized theirs. The world needs more courageous dreamers who turn the impossible into reality, while skeptics watch from afar. If you want to be truly happy, learn to let go of the idea that success depends on the approval of others. True happiness lies in living according to your own values, regardless of what others think of them. When in doubt, choose the path that scares you the most. The truth is that fear is nothing more than an indicator that you are about to do something big. What you fear the most is often the thing that needs to be done the most. If you are always comfortable, there is a good chance that you are not growing. Growth comes from discomfort, from challenge, and yes, from the moments when you feel lost. But it is precisely in those moments that you discover what you are truly capable of. Man is the only animal that can laugh, and curiously, the only one that needs it the most. If you cannot laugh at your own mistakes and stumbles, life will seem much longer and more tiring than it needs to be. It is not what you know, but what you do with what you know. Knowledge is useless without action, and success comes from those who are brave enough to apply their ideas, even if the outcome is uncertain. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect opportunity, but perfection, my friend, is a convenient myth. Opportunities come to those who are willing to work with what they have, when they have it. Action always trumps waiting. As you reflect on these powerful Mark Twain quotes, remember that wisdom is not just in hearing them, but in applying them to your daily life. How many times have you found yourself stuck in limiting thoughts or feeling like you weren't living your life to the fullest? Each of these quotes is a powerful insight to help you transform your mindset and live a more authentic and courageous life. If you feel inspired and want to continue this journey of personal development, be sure to watch the other videos on the channel. Each new quote can be the boost you need to face your challenges with greater strength and clarity.